They just want you to sit in your chair and go, hip hip hooray, for the Western press and the Western narrative, regurgitating the same old, every single day, without exception. Please watch the first series, the first 2 episodes, the second series. Look at that.
Absolutely fascinating.
And it was the first time the Beatles had really stopped being semi-professional almost.
Good evening, everyone. Yeah, it's me again. Never seems to be off the bloody thing. But anyway, I was on a stream today, football stream, Fozzie, and this other lad named Ian. So I've invited them over to next Thursday when I'm doing a football show. And it should be good. It should be good because they're 2 good lads. But I'm sorry to say this, I'm really fed up with it because it has. I know you might think that I'm over the top here, but I never used to swear. I never ever swore, And football has got me swearing because of the frustration. I'm sorry about the hat as well because I got a shower just before. And I never had time to get my hairdresser in. No, really joke. So anyway, I'll have to wear this because my stupid head's all over, hair was all over the place, So anyway, how's it going, everyone? Because TW's with us. Even in Frank and chat. Even in say. And hit the like button and subscribe, please. Thank you. Because that's what I need. I really need the algorithm. And even the football, I had new people on, and I forget to tell them. I know you see, and a lad named Christopher as well. They always say like and subscribe. Even the Anfield Row, he says hit the likes and subscribe and that. And if you can share it sometime, what I mean? Because get the crowds up there, the algorithm. As long as I get that up, it'll be okay. The Anfield. Even in Frankie, and look at all them and chat, and all for the chat as well. I'll be well gone. Be well gone with them. And Lindsay, I was, do you know when you phoned me, I was actually on the phone, on the stream with Fozzie, doing a football stream. And I'm sorry about that. Couldn't take it. But yeah, I only read it before, to be honest. So very good, Lynn. Very good, sweetheart. And I know that you could do a nice little job. And thank you for your compliments as well. Thank you. But I know that you could do a nice little job. Well done. And Stephen, hi everyone. How you stay? Great to see you, honestly. And Johan. Good evening, Frank and legends. Hope everyone has been well. Smash the likes on the way in. Thank you. Thank you. I bet you people will think that I'm doing a football one. I'm not. because it's not conspiracies and theories, but the point is, what we've got today going on is an absolute disgrace. An absolute disgrace by a certain country. And Cedric says, Cedric Lover, the exotic name. Big up legends with the legendary, look at that. How come you weren't invited to do Fowler Sports? I don't know, Fowler Sports? Is that Robbie Fowler? I don't know. These people, I was talking today on Fozzie's, I mentioned, I'll be doing this actually on Tuesday evening, the football show. And there's an agenda, definitely an agenda. And I'm just going to mention this, no more football then. But I'll mention this, Cedric. And I mentioned it today with Fozzie. And what I said was there's an agenda everybody knows. And I'm talking about the likes of Edwards and Richard Hughes. And they're looking, they're seeing what's being said. Even myself on this. And I'm talking about Slot. Now, remember a few weeks ago, he has a round table chat. What the fuck was that? I'll say, swearing on every time I mention this fella's name. And he has a round table. I've never known that. And I go back to the Shankly days. And I've never known, like a director of football or whatever, sitting down and talking and trying to bull up a bad coach. We've had a bad coach in Hodgson and the Northern Irish fella. But the Northern Irish fella was well better than this fella. This fella, in my opinion, honestly, is the worst manager or coach, whatever you want to call him, we've ever had. And I mean that. I really mean that. So I said there's an agenda going out by the likes of Edwards, by the likes of Hughes, telling ex-players, listen, look at, Arnie's being criticised left, right and centre by the fan base. They're not behind him, so try and say something positive about him. And I believe they've been approached. And you get the likes of Peter Crouch. You know what I mean? Peter Crouch, come on. And he said, oh, well, they're picking on him. Fuck off, Crouchy. I'm not interested in you, what you're coming out with. Loads of bollocks anyway. So you see the way I just go. And that's why I've cut down on football. Because I do get really annoyed at this man. And I'm telling you now, I'm going to say it now. If he's our manager next season, I won't be watching Liverpool again. I wouldn't be doing any pods about him, or I'll just be doing this. I'll be doing my history stuff as well. But I'll never be watching Liverpool again if he's our manager, because he's so annoying. He's a fraud. He's definitely a fraud. We're an elite club. We are an elite football club in Europe, if not the world. One of the top elite football clubs in World Club Football. And this fella comes from Feyenoord. Come on. And he comes in and he's worse than that Ten Hag. So anyway, that's it about football. I only mentioned it that I was on the Fozzie show. I'll be on every Friday with him, actually. And a lad named Dean, who's very good as well. So, and I've got them all. I'm inviting them on this, the pair of them, 7:00 next Thursday. And we'll be going over the Galatasaray game the return match. And they'll also be doing the pre-match as well. All in one next Thursday. So that's it. Army Paul, how are you, mate? Oh, I know, Paul, as I said, it's just a load of my Christian friends like you, but you'd have to watch the old French, mate. I know, Paul, you know me. You never heard me swear, ever. And Paul's a big lad as well. Paul's one of these, I don't know, pastors, is it? I don't know what you call them anyway. But he's a good lad. Loves Liverpool Football Club. And most probably, well, I know it was anyway. The unfair, all right, stay. Lindsay Ellis, all down to you, Frank, Mr. Liverpool. Thank you. Thank you so much, Lindsay, and good luck with that. You'll have to let me know. I'll give you the ring. If I've got time tomorrow, I'll give you the ring, Lynn. Okay. After you do shopping and that. So I'll be in the afternoon, late afternoon sometime. Okay. Cedric with the thumbs up to the chat. I didn't even know what. Oh, Toscana. Didn't see you there. Buonasera, Franco. Evening, go. Hiya, Toscana. Never seen you last night. We were talking about you. Well, I never seen you unless I went past you. And Cedric just thumbs up to TW. Look, I love the way you've let on because you're good people. You're all good people, honestly. And Yusuf says, I don't blame you if you stop doing watch-alongs. Honestly, thank you for that, Yusuf. At least someone, is empathising. Honestly. I think I'm a better person than, look, I know George Bernard Shaw and Einstein, and who else was it? I always forget the other fella's name. Said, you have to use an expletive to emphasize an important point. That's what they said. Mr. Snape. See, no, Snapey never put us in block capitals. I haven't got my reading glasses, you see. Anyway, Snapey says a round table show that revolved around an ineffectual pot-smoking pornographer. Get him gone, move on, and consolidate. Anyone who can think for themselves can see straight through slot. There you go. All in a nutshell. I'm going to kick your head, sir, because I said it's no football. Anyway, Franco, Ray, Slot. I couldn't agree more. I can't watch if he's still at Anfield. He's making LFC a laughing stock. You're quite right. And he says, I'm with you, Frank. Slot has dragged me down with his second-rate style. It's not that. It's what he talks about as well. I can't listen. I can't stand him. And I don't like flip-floppers. What you call flip-floppers. I stick to my word, I stick to my word. And what I mean by sticking to my word is this. I've always said I didn't like Slot, even last season. last season, and I just wanted him gone. Maybe that's just because of me, because I didn't like him from the very first moment. He went out onto the Feyenoord pitch and with a microphone telling his fans and his club that he was leaving at the end of their season to come to Liverpool. So that, I know for a fact that the deal was already done with him before he approached Xabi Alonso and hammered him. That was all right. You've got the job there. You'll be all right. So it was a load of nonsense. It was already done. And I think the owners have got something to do with it as well. You might think, oh, well, he bouncy, they hired him. No, I think he's come here on the cheap. He's come here on the cheap. He's one of the cheapest managers, put it that way. If you're going to buy, say, like a bottle of scotch, whatever, and you buy the cheapest scotch and you think, that's all right. But when you taste the better scotch, the malt stuff that's matured over the years, superb. And that's what it's like. A cheap scotch rather than the malt. Hi, Frank. Every other lovely people says the lovely little Donny. Hiya, Donny. Hiya, sweetheart. Hello, chat, says Linda. And Toscana. I did get on for a few minutes, but I had to go off as my son's like, sorry about that. I was trying to distract him by putting the Beatles YouTube. It worked a bit. He's, I'm so sorry, Toscana, Really. Good grief. I know you have... we all talk French watching LFC, says Linda. Donna says, is this football night? No, Donna, it's not. Honestly, sweetheart, it's not. And Cedric says, these streams are a credit to you, Frank. Everyone here is, yes, I know they are. I was just saying it. Do you know what? I'm losing my mind, I forget who I was talking to half of the time. And was it our Francine? I think it must have been our Francine. Or Jason. Might have been Jason. And I said, and Anthony as well. It was Jason and Anthony. And I said, do you know what? They're not half respectful. Every single one of them. Whether it's football, whether it's history, whether it's this, whether it's the TV and film show. Everyone is respectful. Everyone. So thanks for that, Cedric. Thank you. And the Snape say, rename your watch-alongs, realism personified. The club's too big for him and he's no radar for the people of the... I mentioned that today. On the Fozzie show. Honestly. The most toxic, self-destructive combination man's finished for most of us. Brilliant. I more or less said I did say about, the toxicity of Klopp and the City. He never embraced, he didn't like you, he didn't like me, he didn't like any Liverpool fan, because he's criticised us. He doesn't like the City. That's for sure. Because he, what other manager in the world takes on a job of an elite club, no matter where, and then you leave your family at home. Think about it. Oh, she didn't want to come to Liverpool. What do you want to go there for? I'd rather stay here. Know what I mean? Klopp got 200 million. Slot gets 6 million. There you go. Thanks, Led. There you go. And Toscana says to said sponsor. Sleepy, think yourself fortunate, Frank. At least you have a mind to lose. Mine was arrested for vagrancy decades ago. Oh, like that. Your streams and reading the chapters, says the opinion. Oh, the chapter. I'm sorry, I thought you said chapters there. Your streams and reading the chatter's opinions is my respite. I really appreciate it. Even my cousin asked, how's the Italian Scouser doing? Oh, that's nice. Italian Scouser. Mezzo Italiano e Inglese. That's the Italian. What's today's topic, says Linda? Tell you right now. And Barry Aldridge, even in Frank and everyone. Hiya, Barry. Today's topic is, it's not football. I've done all that now. And what it is, it's what's going on. I was listening to Trump and that Peter Skett. Have you seen that Peter Skett? He's an absolute disgrace. And the both of them were actually saying, even like that, the Truth Social that he puts out, Trump, like today or yesterday, and he said, and we'll kill them. He's coming out with a load of bollocks about, about Iran chopping babies' heads off, and they're going around killing everyone in the world. That's why, he's just trying to big up his strike on Iran, but it's backfiring. It's backfiring on the economy because the economy is finished. I'm telling you now. And he really thought he could go and take a world leader out, because no matter how you look at that Khomeini, who he bombed and killed his son and daughter, granddaughter, just kill them, by the way. And other people in the residence, in the Khomeini's residence. It's nothing to them. Look at the school. They tried to deny the school. They tried to deny that 160 school children from the age of 7, girls, to 12, kids who went to school. I went to school once, and saying, I'll see you there, see you when I get home. Go and play football then. And your kids, and aren't my kids, saying, see you later. Going to school safe. Being taught safe. Coming home every day. Those little girls went to school. Dropped off by the parents. Think about it. Bringing your child to the school. Giving a little kiss on the cheek or whatever. See you later, I'll pick you up later. And these are little 7 years of age. And 12 years of age. The 12-year-olds will be saying, oh, you don't have to pick me up, Mum. Can walk home, be all right. No, pick it up. School was bombed. And what you call a double tap as well. So it wasn't one missile. They waited for the emergency services. They waited for the emergency services to get there. But with the emergency services getting to the school, the parents were as well. So they had a double hit, killed all them. Then they had a third hit. I don't know whether you're aware of that, 3 hits they had. Because after the second hit, 40 minutes later, bang, another one. That's what America is doing. America. And what did he do? He tried to blame. Well, he never tried to blame. He blamed them. He said, oh, that was Iranian. Then when someone pointed it out that it was a tomahawk, he said, oh, loads have got tomahawks. Well, the people have tomahawks. He's a fucking disgrace. He's an absolute disgrace, that man. And that Peter Esket, he's a greasy oaf. Have you seen him? His hair greased back. He's thick. He's absolutely thick. And he just says, kill them, kill them, kill. The word, kill. We'll kill them. They want to kill everyone else. They always want to kill us. No, they don't. What are you doing surrounding them? They've wanted Iran for years, especially Israel have wanted to take out Iran for decades. 40 years or so. And this was the chance. And they really thought with the decapitation of the Ayatollah Khomeini, they've done it. And they can all say, go home now and soft lad. Trump would be saying, yeah, it's victory too. No, it's backfired. It's backfired on them. And this war's going to last. But the unfortunate thing, people, is that we're going to suffer. We are going to suffer. Economically. It's something that you might know and you might know and you mightn't know. Russia has a certain oil, and it's only them who've got it. It's only those who have got it that comes up from their pipes or whatever. And countries buy it who have got diesel engines or whatever they've got, cars, trains, everything, trucks. And to make diesel. And you know that the EU have saying, we're going to stop all that. They don't want any of their oil, and they don't want energy and all this. Well, they have to buy it off them as well. So what's going to happen to all the diesel? Because Putin's just turned around and went, so you're going to stop everything in 20 next year? Oh, yeah, I'll tell you what. Yeah, okay, turn it off. The EU are pathetically thick. I'm not talking about leaders, by the way. I'm talking about the EU. The undemocratic. Who are they? They're unelected. They've been put in by the WEF. And who runs the world? The WEF. And that BlackRock. First time Starmer got in, the first thing he done was to invite BlackRock into our country. They're part of the deep state in America. So this is what's going on in Iran. And do you think, what your opinion is, do you think that we're complicit in all this? Forget about Gaza for the moment. But look, I've got to bring Ukraine in here. There's been red lines about what Russia have done. And they said any fucking missiles, super missiles, coming into us, there'll be retaliation and consequences. And what happened at the other day? What happened? A storm shadow hit a civilian complex and market, killed people and wounded a lot of people. Storm shadow. See, if you think Ukraine can fire these rockets, you're wrong. These missiles, you're wrong. They have to be British soldiers. They're the only ones who can fire them. It's just like the Americans when they're firing, you know, when they're sending their missiles or whatever they are. And the Americans have to use them. It's like the fighters as well, them F-16s and 17s. It's not Ukrainian pilots. It's American pilots. They can't fly them, you see, the Ukrainians. So you see, see what you're saying. Even in Barry Aldridge, Anfield and all those who I can't acknowledge due to a lack of characters on YouTube. That's not to infer there's no characters here. Fucked that up, haven't I? Yeah. And Paul Daly, Paul, agrees Israel bombs Iran. Israel bomb Iran. So Iran retaliate. And then everyone starts on Iran for being aggressive. It's a disgrace. Yeah, of course. Every country in the world. Look, you've only got to look in the last 25 years who America have attacked. And it hasn't stopped now, you know, with Iran. There's still others on the agenda. And yet they attacked Iraq. They attacked Libya. They attacked Iran today. Syria, with regime changes. They attacked African countries like Somalia. This is what they're doing. But what's on the horizon? What's on the horizon? Greenland. You know, people, they laugh at that. Why do they laugh at it? That's a sovereign country. It's a sovereign country led by sovereign people. Democratically elected people. And he wants to attack them. Remember when he first got in, Trump, one of the first words one of the first comments he made, when he said to that stupid Trudeau fella, who was president or prime minister, I don't know what they get called over there, of Canada, you're going to be our 51st state. You're going to be our... You see the mentality of this man. This is when he first came in. This is the man of peace. Now he wants to. He's gone into Venezuela. No need to go on about that. You know where he just went in and arrested. I think. I'll tell you what my opinion on that. He's gone. Let's see if we can just take this fella out of Venezuela and bring him over to America to stand trial, like they did with Noriega in Panama at that time. So he's done it. And he's waiting, he must have been waiting for the backlash. Nothing happened. Nothing happened. So he's thinking, I could go in anywhere. and take anyone. He couldn't go into Iran. If he could have gone into Iran and taken the Ayatollah and arrested him, he couldn't do it. That's why these ground troops got no chance in Iran. And yes, as Paul Daly says, everybody's turning on Iran. That's what I mean about the EU. That Kaya Kallas, what a brat she is. She's a Russophobe, and she's going on about Iran. We've got to stop these murdering people. Where the fuck are they getting all this information about? I've streamed Iran, and I was streaming it last year, and it shocked me. It shocked me where you see young people, teenagers and the 20-odd-year-olds just walking about, meeting up with other people at the same age. Not one of these yasmaks around. None of these things over there. Nothing. They have the long flowing hair, just walking around, very smartly dressed. Middle-aged women as well, out shopping. Incredible. Beautiful. That was in Tehran. Beautiful city, and look what the fucking doing to it, the bombing it. What's the lad's name? The Prime Minister of the Agachi, is it? Agachi. He's out today, walking around, greeting people. Just walking around. There was no meeting or anything. He just went out into the streets greeting people. It was nice to see, actually. It was just a news footage. You see him doing that, and shaking hands and getting selfies as well. People, loads of young fellas, getting selfies with him. And middle-aged people as well, getting the selfies. And what's the Trump saying? They're all cowering, they're all hiding. No fucking coward, Mr. fucking coward Trump. Send your son there, Barron. He's, the army. Do you see him in his uniform? Send him over fucking there. Send him on the ground troops as one of the ground troops. Fuck. Well said, Paul. Trump will come unstuck if Russia get involved. So they're more or less already involved then, because they're giving them missiles, they're giving them intel, from space. They're already. And if anyone criticises Russia, that's a load of nonsense as well, because what's America doing to Russia? They started the war, and as you know, in Ukraine. They started it. The proxy war. It's what they wanted, and they got it. And they're supplying Zelensky with all these weapons. Well, they've stopped now. But they were supplying, they gave him everything. That's why they're low on stocks, America. Because Zelensky got them all. And Stephen says Trump is now begging for oil from Russia and trying to do the sanction and trying to end the sanctions. Putin should tell him to do one and say, you shouldn't have killed them, those girls in a school. You see how it's changed now. Trump has no leverage whatsoever. The world's turning against him. America. Did you see that ship? coming back from it, it was empty. It had no weapons, and they knew that. Did you hear Trump about that? I was listening to him yesterday. Someone asked him about that ship, that Iranian ship, that was in international waters, not their own waters, international waters. And what happens in international waters? It's unlawful if you do anything. And they knew, the Americans knew that ship had no weapons, no nothing. It just been to a festival. And what did they do? They fucking sank it, a submarine. And Trump was bragging about it. He was bragging. And he said, I said, why didn't you keep it? We could have used that. But it's better sunk, isn't it? Yeah, that's it, Fuck. People died. See what I mean about it? See what I mean about it? This America. It's so sad. Paulie. Hi, Frank and chat. Are you Paulie? Sending Toscana good vibrations. Glad to hear your son's having a good rest. Mums always know what to do. Yeah, that's nice, that. That's nice to Toscana. Sorry to say, think we will be pulled into it. We're already into it. We're already into it, Len. And Steve Mulholland. Milofsky's supposed to give a speech, but he has his 6 fingers on his right hand. He always hides his right hand, doesn't he? Toscana to Parley, thank you. That's so kind of you. It's tough, but we take one day at a time. Nice one. And Steve agrees with Paul. Trump wants to take on the world. He does, but he wants to rule the world economically. He just wants to rule the world economically. He's a bully, in other words. He's a bully, and bullies always get found out. And no one likes a bully. And he just bullies everyone. He's just a divvy. Johan, Iran is fighting a war against Epstein class. Yeah, because someone said that there's footage of Trump with a young girl. And that's why, there's all this going on. If I was American, the ordinary American, but the ordinary Americans are not getting what we're doing here. I was listening, I read a comment today, I was looking at Colonel Davis, and one of the chats said, believe it or not, I was talking to a couple of my friends, they didn't even know the war was going on. That's what he said, believe it or not, they didn't know that we were at a war now today. So you see, I've always said that America, all as they do, the ordinary Americans, is get up of a morning, have the coffee, go to work, look at the telly, and get the weather. They get the weather. Oh, it's going to be nice today. Oh, yeah. I won't wear my suit. I'll just wear the shirt and tie. Whatever. What's it going to be like at the weekend? Is there any traffic jams? Nothing else. You just hear the local news. and some households just listen to Fox News. Evening, the word nerd. Oh, shut up. Trump US a big mouth. Coward. Is a big, yes, he is, Lynn. And Johan. I've seen the Iranian spokesperson say, we're waiting for the American troops on the ground. We're prepared. Yeah, I've seen that. He was a good spokesman then, wasn't he? And did you see the American journalist who was interviewing him? I was sitting there all smarmy and he went, you're waiting for them. Yeah. Prepared. Prepared. So you see, this is the way it is. And it's so sad. It's so sad. But what's he doing now? He really thought, I'll tell you what, Cuba are lucky. Cuba and Mexico. And you might as well say Greenland as well. Because the next step would have been South America for the little lads. For the tiny hats. Tiny hat brigade. Because he would have gone to South America. He's already, well, he hasn't really, Venezuela. And he's going, well, he's more or less strangling Cuba. And he will invade Cuba because they're a tiny country, but they said they're waiting for them as well. What right do they have? What right do they have? Well, what do they blame? Drugs. Have you seen America and the drug scene? Have you seen them? Have you seen these people? I was looking at Philadelphia. But I wasn't looking like now. I'm going back a couple of years ago. You see them, they're just bent over through this fentanyl, is it? And lots of deaths. But they're blaming other countries. If you're a drug abuser, you blame your fucking self. If you're an alcoholic, it's not like saying this, but if you're an alcoholic, it's because you're like a bevy and you've gone up. It's just like a drug abuser. If you're a drug abuser, you're like your little drugs. And you do anything to fucking get your money to get the drugs. That's why when I was giving a lecture, the principal came in and said, we have such a body here, he's a former drug addict and he wants to go in and give a talk. I said, oh. So anyway, I went and seen the former drug addict. And I said, why do you want to come in? And he said, well, the dangers of drugs. I said, okay. I said, how did you get your money to buy your drugs? Was you working? And he was looking at me because he knew what was fucking coming from me. I said, are you going to talk about the devastation that you left to get that money? Like the fucking burglaries and the muggings and everything else. Are you going to talk about that? Hey. And he looked at me. He didn't know what to say. And I said, no, go on, fuck off. You're not coming into my tutorial. I said, I can talk about it. And that principal pulled me and said, "Why isn't you?" I said, "Why? Why? I can talk about the dangers of drugs. I can easily talk about the dangers of drugs and how you end up, a criminal by it." He didn't know how to fucking take me either. Snape you to the ear, Johan, or the verbal sable at the best, a poorly domesticated rodent. I'm half Scouser, says Archie. Me mum told me they're all wrong. Love you, Frank. You're half Italian. Stephen. Same in Britain. People go to work, come home, watch soaps, and if they watch news, they believe everything is okay because it's nothing to do with them. Utter sheep. It's not that. It's. I asked someone once. I said, "Where are you getting all your fucking information about this?" "What do you mean? BBC?" I said, "The BBC, biggest proper fucking gander news agency on the planet. They don't tell the truth." So you're right, they do watch the show. I always remember a few years ago, which, sums up everything what you said there, Stephen. I was watching the news and a general election was coming up. I think it was the time Cameron got first brought in. And they were asking these young people, like young girls they were, the, the giggly ones. And they said, and I was down in London, and they put up, a picture of Cameron. And they said, "Who's that?" And Ed Miliband. They went, "Oh, we don't know. I don't know. Do you know Vera?" Or Dominique? "Do you know Crystal?" Fucking girl. They said, "No, I don't know." They said, then he put up a picture of, who was it? Someone out of EastEnders. And he went, "Oh, yeah, there, she's in EastEnders." You see what I mean? It's not like years ago. And I'm saying this, it's not like years ago where you had, you did have the likes of papers and a couple of telly programs, supporting like one or the other of the political people, either Tory or Labour or Liberal or whoever. And you had the little broadcasts in you. That was it. That was about it. But today's generations haven't a clue. Just like we've gone like America. We've gone like America. Unfortunately. As bad as any substance abuser's case is the immutable truth is that once in the person's life they made a conscious choice to drink. Of course, it's like, as I said, alcoholic, for example. Alcoholic, they do anything to get a few bob to go out. And what's in the end? You see them in the street then. And you see them with a bottle or, begging. And that's how you end up. Drug abusers, they would rob you. a mate of mine, he was out, I'm going back a couple of years, good friend, cracking fella. And he was in town, it was late, gone 11, I think it was a Sunday. Two fellas jumped him, robbed his watch, robbed his money, but they got caught. And that fella's family, he's got a big family. They were, heavily fined, but got sorted. So they are like, they could be drug abusers, they could be anything, or just horrible fucking pricks. They were just wanting money. But what do they want money for? 90% of it, they want money for drugs. Did you know in a hospital waiting room, if a druggie, alcohol abuser or prisoner comes in, they go straight in, no waiting hours. I think you're right there, but if you were sitting in, I don't think that there's one alcoholic sitting with ordinary people, nor a drug abuser, because they could be violent by the abusers, so they can't take a chance. I watched Simon Reeves in Puerto Rico, no shape, no shops open, because most of the population can't afford anything, and most of the population left to go and live in the US. Well, that's what I mean. They went into Puerto Rico, didn't they? They just destroy countries. They just destroy countries. And this is why, Russia went, there's no fucking way you're putting NATO into Ukraine. No way. And what's Zelensky? Zelensky likes the stuff up his nose, doesn't he? And there's mentions about drugs and Trump and, the drug abusers themselves in America. Don't forget, they occupied Afghanistan for 20 years until they went. They couldn't defeat the Taliban fellas on fucking bikes. They couldn't defeat. They couldn't defeat. And he's saying they've got the greatest army, the greatest military machine. No, you fucking haven't got the greatest military machine in the world. You couldn't even beat the Vietnamese, little people in the jungle. You couldn't beat fellas on bikes in Afghanistan. You couldn't even defeat the Iraqis. You can't defeat no one unless someone's covering your back. America. And while they were in Afghanistan, where does all the poppy come from? Afghanistan. Today. Why didn't they destroy the poppy fields of Afghanistan? I'd love to ask that question. Why didn't you destroy them? You're so concerned about fucking drugs. Stephen, most of the lands in Puerto Rico was bombed with chemical weapons. Yeah. And so was, funny enough, was it last year? Where you just see something and how many people? I forget what total people, each year. Oh, how many? I forget now. Are still being killed in Vietnam. clearing stuff. They're trying to do something, whatever, in Vietnam, clearing so they could build. And they're still being, workers and whatever, are still being killed by unexploded grenades and bombs and shells, whatever's there lying on the ground from the Vietnam War between the 60s and 70s. I forget how many, they give a percentage of how many people are being killed each year. Remember when they blamed, you mentioned there, Steve, about chemical. Do you ever remember the barrel bombing in Syria? And if anyone couldn't see that it was the Americans who were doing it and blaming that Bashar al-Assad, anyone with a little tiny brain cell in there could say that it was the Americans, because they've been trying for years to get Bashar al-Assad out, and they done it. And who have they put in fucking power there? Hey, who have they put in power? Al-Jalani, who was wanted by America. There was a $10 million bounty on his head. And he's in power now. But I tell you what, the way this has gone and backfiring on America, I think you'll have the Middle Eastern countries telling them to fuck off. Get out of our country. These American bases. And you've only got to look at Sanchez, the Spanish president, when he told Trump, he said, no, you're not using your planes to go and bomb Iran from here. And what did Trump say to him? We'll use it. You don't tell us what to do. We'll use your country if we want. That's what he's like. But he's steadfast, Sanchez. Brilliant. But you get the likes of Starmer here. You get the likes of that EU. And there's Viktor Orban being threatened by Zelensky. Did you see him today or yesterday? When he was saying, my family are afraid because he's threatening. Remember when I said on here about why doesn't someone ask Zelensky about the kill list that he has? What Roger Waters is on. Roger Waters is on a kill list because he speaks out against Zelensky and the phoniness and the corruption. And he's on a kill list, a Ukrainian kill list. And I've said, why hasn't anybody questioned him about it? So there's Orban, a leader of a country, Hungary, who's on this kill list, his family. He's threatened his family. It's fucking shocking what Zelensky's saying, Mind you, there's a big gun behind his head, isn't there? The Azovs. There's no fucking way he's going to enjoy the fucking billions that he's taken. No way whatsoever is he going to enjoy that. Because his head will be blown off. I'm telling you. Now. And even, I think it's funny actually. Zelensky's been asking for money, and Hungary and Slovakia, their presidents, Fico, they've said no. And the Czech Republican new fella, they've said no. No, you're not giving it, because everybody has to agree. You see, all the European members of the EU states, yes, we'll give them it, no. And if you say no, bang, you can't have it. And Zelensky's been going mad over it. So what happened? Zelensky, there was money coming through, being smuggled into him and gold bars, millions and millions of dollars, millions and gold bars. And it was going to have to go through Hungary. They got it. The Hungarians got it. And they said, we've got all this millions here. And the funniest thing is that they sent the trucks through, the lorries through that it was in, to Zelensky, yeah, you can have them back. And it was empty. And Sleepy said, result, just checked my overdraft facility and found I've got 350 left. So it's 30 quid of frozen food from the Aldi and just about enough left for fuel. Jesus. For the 2-mile round trip. Later's all, see you, Sleepy. Shocking, man. And Johan Orban sees the cast off. The gold bars. And that was for the Zelensky. So where was it coming from? It's all been stashed away, as we know, because they've been filtering, haven't they? Remember that fella and the $100 million? And they're all in Israel now. That's where they are. Airmax in Israel as well. Johan, I don't know whether you're aware of that. Airmax in Israel. Where is ill-gotten gains? They're all over there. Know what I mean? Big Airmac. That was Zelensky's mind, That was Zelensky's mind. And I think, in my opinion, about Airmac, I think he's gone to Zelensky, come with me, get out of here. And the Azovs have said no, because he's a fucking Azov himself, isn't he? Airmac. See the size of him, big bully. Oh my God, there's another brick in the wall. Don't be joking about that, though, Archie, lads. Please. He's on a fucking kill list. Is Roger. Because he speaks out. He speaks out against Zelensky and the regime. It's not fucking funny, to be honest. I don't make jokes of things. And no one else should, to be honest. Do you know what? I found my hats. Put them down. I don't know where to put them again. This is the only hat I can find. Well. Roger Waters has also been anti-Zeo for years. Well, ages, yeah. Yeah. But we can't say anything. And I was looking at something, Johan. And there was these Jewish people, they were saying stop the, placards. I was looking at Double Down News. Brilliant. I love the Double Down News, by the way. And these are English journalists, and they're just saying as it is. And they were showing about these ladies and a couple of gentlemen, Jewish. One of them was a Holocaust survivor. You know what I mean? And being arrested. Stop the genocide. And one of them was a Holocaust survivor. Stop the genocide in Gaza. Being arrested holding a placard. These were elderly people. And it's wrong. So you see how it's gone. It's gone a big full circle. You can't say anything. Freedom of speech. There's no freedom of speech whatsoever in this country. So I'm only doing one more football match. That's it. One each week. No, I've got to do one Tuesday and one Thursday. Till I fucking watch it. And it really gets to me. It really does. But I tell you what, if Slaughter's our manager next season, I won't be doing any football whatsoever. I won't be fucking watching it. And I'm a Shankly boy. I go back to Shankly. Because I can't stand the man. It's like, I don't know. There are people I have to listen to. The likes of Zelensky. The likes of Trump. Hesketh. There's another fella named fucking Miller. What a horrible prat he is as well. Yank. He's horrible, him. And Lindsey Graham, the likes of, I listen to them to see what they're saying. And they're just horrible war hawks. They just, that Lindsey Graham comes out again and says about killing people. He uses the word, we'll kill them all. He said, just like Trump, we'll kill them. Like Hexet, we'll kill them all. I'll fucking show you this, kid. I'll show you them. There he is, Pete Hesketh. He reads that Schofield Bible, doesn't he? Now, you know, you see the cross there, you know, but it doubles up, as you know, into something else. Look, just doubles up. I don't have to tell you what it doubles up for. Look at this greasy hair, look. Look at the tats on him. And he proclaims himself defense of the war. What do they call him? Archie. Frankie, Archie is fully aware. Love you, buddy. I know you are. But this is a very serious programme, to be honest. And I like Roger Waters. I actually gave me daughter, cost me a fortune to go down and see him in London a couple of years ago. She had to stay overnight. And just loves Roger Waters. And he's on a kill list because he speaks out. Yes, he's great, Peter Osborne, isn't he? You want to tell Joanne about him? He's good. He just sits there, doesn't he, with his big posh voice. Yeah, I do watch him. I like Double Down. That Loki's on Double Down as well. But they just tell the truth. Peter Osborne's a great journalist. And he knows the lies that are being spewed out left, right, and centre by the press and by the television. And they know that they're telling lies. So you're right there, Stay. I'm glad you watch him. Peter Osborne. He was a Tory, wasn't he? Never liked him, but God blimey, he's telling the fucking truth now. And Paulie, Frank, don't let the bastards wear you down. But Slaughter's pushing for it a bit. I'll give you that. You're right. You're right, Paulie. And Lindsey Graham is a children's cat lady. Yeah. No wonder he doesn't care if the world burns now. But you know what got me, Johan, about the bombing of the school? They were incendiary bombs. They were burnt alive. And that should be exposed. That should be in the news every day, what these Americans did. These tomahawks. That's why Putin said, you fucking send tomahawks. You give tomahawks to Zelensky. I think I'll predict this. I'll predict this now. I'll predict it. That Iran will end up with a nuclear weapon for self-defense. It was a great post, just like someone commented and said, the USA have been there for 250 years. The Persian Empire have been there for 2,000 years. And I always said as well about Damascus was the very first metropolitan city in the world. And look at the fucking state of it. Look what the Americans have done. Wesley Clark was as Johan. General Wesley Clark with his little fucking plan to take out 7 countries, 5 in the Middle East and a couple of African ones. And Iran was the last. But it's a brick wall. It's hit a brick wall. Johan, Secretary of War, thank you. Instead of the Secretary of Defense, he names himself Secretary of War. There was a Rapat, excuse me, the other night. And he Johan is at Rapat who wants the gunpowder plot. Please let me know if it's him. Or is it the birth of the Yeti in Nepal? What are you joking? And Steve says, whiskey knows Pete. He was an alcoholic. Don't know whether you're aware of that. And they sobered him up. It's a rehab. Rehab for the jab. Rehab for the jab. Oh, little Lauren. Good evening, Frankie and friends. And little Max. Hey there, Lauren and Max. Hope you're well. Don't forget Hamlet. Now, Hamlet was, just say this, Hamlet was a dysfunctional family. That's what it was all about. because our little Lauren is doing Hamlet in college, A level. And Paulie says, Roger Waters is boss. Yes. I've always loved his music, and his political stance makes me love him more. A good man. Of course he's a good man. I had to watch a film the other day. I love, besides loving Toscana and little Linda Ellis, and little Bella Italia, and lovely little Lauren there, and little Ambidextrous. I love Nicole Kidman. So I've seen this years ago, and it was called The Interpreter. And who was in it was little ears, Sean Penn. Now, I won't watch Sean Penn anymore. And he's a good actor. And when he went over to Kiev and fucking Zelensky and to give him his Oscar, he said, I'll lend you that. Can I have it back when you come back to the States? He said, yeah. And I thought, you prat, you haven't a fucking clue, have you? You haven't a clue. And that Ben Stiller. Ben Stiller. But I had to watch The Interpreter. And he was good in it as well. As I said, he's a good actor. And Nicole called The Interpreter. Cracking little film. So if you're ever watching a film, I think you can get it. Yeah, you can get it on YouTube. Oh. And Barry says, see you, Snapey, just had to get my supper. Ham and salt and vinegar butter. I'm glad Snapey's gone because, do you know, it's terrible. Do you know what I'm eating? And I can't stop eating them. Crisps. Just ready salted Walker's crisps. I don't like flavoured. I can't get enough of them. So I have crisp butties. Is that wrong? And I've got to do my pasta by next Wednesday. Because my Fusely runs out by next Wednesday, so I've got to do it. I love Fusely. Oh, Jesus. Crisps. Omnia Corsa Fluent is Latin for don't let the bastards grind you down. Love you, Frank, says the Achi. Thanks, Achi. We all get. Do you know, I tell you what I've said in the past. I wish I knew nothing. And as someone replied to me, ignorance is bliss. So maybe ordinary Americans who just wake up in the morning, try to get the weather to see what they can do that day, maybe they're right. I don't know. I just don't know. But we're not like that, us people, are we? Us Brits. We like to see what's going on. I do. I've always have done. Always will do. It's, you know, it's like, look, you know, you might take, look at that, the size of that. I read that because it's full of poems, everything. And how many? There are over 3,000 pages. 3,000. And that keeps me going. It keeps me sane for the simple reason I love literature. But I also like autobiographies. Not interested in biographies, by the way. Autobiography is by the person itself. A biography is written by someone else who think they know about that particular person and they don't really. So I read autobiographies, and one of them, I think it's just called It's Me. It's Me. And it's one of the funniest. It's brilliant, in other words. Peter Houston. It's only me, or it's me. That's all it's called. Get it and read it. It's absolutely brilliant. I brought it on holiday, but I didn't bring it back home because I gave it to some fella. He said, "What are you reading?" And he was only there the first day, he just come and lay by me. And I said, and I was going home the next day. I said, "I'm just finishing it off now." He said, "I like Houston off." I said, "I'll tell you what I'll do with you. If I see you tomorrow, I'll hand it to you. If I don't, I'll just leave it on the thing for you." He said, "Will you?" I said, "Yeah." And I seen him at 10 o'clock in the morning. That's what we were getting picked up. I said, "Yeah." I was just leaving it under the foyer. I went, "Yeah, for you." No one. It was Rapat, yes. Oh, thank you. Wasn't quite sure. Thanks, Johan. Thank you, friend. Boycott the Epstein 2026 World Cup. I've been going mad over that. I really have. There's Russia being kicked out of everything. And they had a right to go into Ukraine. You know that, and I know that. And they've been kicked out of everything because of it. They're all Russophobes. They're all Russophobes. So anyway, what you have to look at as well is why they've been allowed to participate in Olympic Games and World Cups. Why have they been allowed? They're doing regime changes, colour revolutions. They've walked into a country and took out their leader and put him in a jail. They're complicit in genocide. They're having a proxy war. No matter how you look at it now, you think that they've stopped the proxy war in Ukraine. And they're setting their eyes. This is the same fucking fella who's setting their eyes on Cuba, Mexico. You see, Greenland, and any other place that stands up against them. And yet they're allowed to participate. And there's Russia being banned from all the arts, from sports, from everything, and being sanctioned to fuck. So why haven't they been banned? America? That's what I just don't understand about, they call it democracy. Where's the fucking democracy? Where's the democracy in Ukraine? But all the opposition in jail. And the investigative reporters who've been killed at the front because they says you can either rot here in jail and die, or you can join up and go in the army and go to the front. They signed up and fucking went to the front. Others are just still rotting in jail. What happened to Gonzalo Lear? An American citizen being tortured to death in a Ukraine jail. Biden never said anything. This fucking Trump fella's never said anything. An American citizen. And what do they say about American citizen? Anyone such as an American citizen, they'll have to pay. Okay, now. But you're right there, Stephen, about Epstein. You're really spot on. Because that's what it's all about. So that the files won't come out. See, my heart's fucking spinning all over the fucking place. Because, as I said, I wash my hair. And it just slips. That's how bad my hair is. Stupid head. And Paulie, evening, Lauren. Hope your studies are going well. Yes, he'll be okay. Sean Penn snitched on El Chapo as well, says Johan. Remember, El Chapo was arrested weeks after the secret. Yeah, what? Do you know what? I never put that. I never put two and two together. He did. He interviewed him, didn't he? And he was arrested not long after. Cracking that, young one. Brilliant. Well detected. Love that. You and Snapey are like a married couple, Frank. Stop by saying, don't tell Snapey what I mean. And I'm in the twilight now, and I even our Francis said, don't eat too much of them, you know, Dad. So I said, why? I'm just sitting here on my own. What you do, and watch the telly, watch films for you lot to tell you what to watch. On a Saturday morning. I was bad last week, people. I was really bad. Couldn't move. I thought I was paralysed. Honest to God, I couldn't move my legs. And I was really worried. Saturday morning, just couldn't get out of bed to do my film and TV review. And this week, I'm all right now, believe it or not. Because the first couple of days, you know, the Monday and the Tuesday, Monday I was still feeling a bit bad, you know, my back. And Tuesday, I could feel it easing. Wednesday, I was okay. Doing that stupid. No, what's your long on it? And anyway, I felt okay. Doing the history. And last night doing the history. And tonight, well better. Touch wood. That's it. Touch wood. Not to touch wood. Paulie. Crisp butties can never be wrong. Plain crisps rule and plain crisps rule. I used to eat them years ago, you know, as a kid. Like a jam butty as well. So yeah, a crisp butty, but all of a sudden I've got this fetish. Sounds terrible, doesn't it? A fetish for a crisp butty. But it's just an ordinary packet. But mind you, I get the big packets. You know, with loads in. You know, little, and they're only little packets, really. Know what I mean? Ready salted, Walker's Own, love them. Love them, you know. Good evening, Frank says, freedom of journey. And chat. I just listened to Piers Morgan and Tucker Carlyle. Brilliant. Well worth a listen. I've watched it. They are speaking truth to power. Yes. He's great, that Tucker Carlson, isn't he? Brilliant. But mind you, Piers Morgan, you've got to give it to Piers Morgan, you know. You've got to give it to him. He just sits there and listens. But he's got an answer for them. But he never has an answer for Tucker, did he? And Tucker wasn't having it. Because he's getting paid. You know, why don't you? I'm talking about Piers Morgan. I'll never ever, Millie Dowling, I'll never forgive Morgan for that. Because he hacked a phone, didn't he? Remember that? When he was editor of the Daily Mirror. And he hacked a phone, and her parents, little Millie Dowling's parents, thought she was alive. Because he sent a text. That was shocking what he did. He should have been put in jail for that. Piers Morgan. But as I said, he just sits there and he listens and never gets flustered. But Tucker made him flustered, didn't he? Put him in his place, actually. Johan, that Sean Penn sounds like a rat. He is a rat, Paulie. He is. Great actor. What a fool. What a fool he is. And actually says, Frankie, ignorance is bliss. However, the older you get, the less it becomes. Love you, Frank. You're right. It is bliss, though, no matter how you look at it. Like you lot on there, is a powerful people. And very respectful people. And Lauren says, Hatchie, in literature, I study a book called The Handmaid's Tale. And in that book, Nalai te bastardas, carbon rundum, carbon rundum. Oh, come on, give me a break. I've got fucking cataracts. Means don't let the bastards grind you down. It's not real Latin, though. That isn't Latin, no. In nomine Patria Filii Spiritus Sancti, that's Latin. Carborundorum. Is that saying that? Carborundorum. See, letters disappear off me. Especially if I've got just, I didn't think I'd be, I thought it'd be nice tonight. Because I hate wearing my reading glasses. Gives me blindness and headaches. Well, Paulie. Thank you, Paul. And little Max. Love that little Max. And Lauren says that it's tattoos on my arm. Bella, buonasera Franco and everyone. Hope you're all well. Thank you, Bella. We mentioned you before, actually. We did. Actually says, Frank, you must have been to Ken Dodd's Jam Butty Factory. Lovely man. I knew Ken, he was a friend of mine. And I showed something last night. Forget where it is. Forget where it is. Oh, no, is that it? No. Is that it? No. I put something like, I've got a massive bookshelf here. And I showed Anthony last night off Ken's odd, a little book. And it was a great little thing he put in. I forget where it is. I don't know where it is. I just fucking put it in there and it just everything disappears on me. And I mean, everything. Put it down. Put it down, it goes. Mamma mia. Mamma mia. Yep, it's gone. Don't know where it is. Fuck. It's mad. Wasted time. Johan, that's for you, mate. Can you read that? Why they sank her. It's for you, that. And Lauren, actually, I'm not, on the course of field. It's not field. Yeah. Everything happens for a reason. Stop coming out with all this. Johan, Piers is a professional grifter. He doesn't care if he looks like a fool as long as the views keep coming. Yes, because he does get, uncensored. I've watched a few of them. I've watched a loads of them, actually. But again, I don't like him. But you've got to give him his due. The way he just sits there. And when he has, a panel on, and some are for, and there's always one against, isn't there? And they all pile on, but he stops them. Yeah. As though he's on the one side who is against what? Say like Gaza or Ukraine. And he has a go at them. Now you know that he's not interested in Gaza. If you know what I mean. That could be blown to smithereens every fucking day and just off the face of the earth. Wouldn't give a fuck him. Same as, and he supports Ukraine and Zelensky. But if Zelensky was blown up or whatever, he wouldn't give a fuck. He'd just carry on the next show. Hi, Bella. Oh, fuck off with you. Listen, stop it now. I fucking told you. I'll block you, Nancy. Stop that. Fucking told you. People don't fucking realise what I go through, you know. I've got cataracts. And I'm waiting for them to be done. And little things disappear on me. And I have my distant glasses on, so I haven't got my reading glasses on because they give me blinds and headaches when I'm reading out. Fucking kill me. Because I read every comment out. That's what you're here for. So you can comment and I read it out. I think I'm the only one who does it out of every podcast. Reads every podcast, reads every comment or try to. That's why Snapey puts it in caps. And the Anfield Road's fucked off. Pop in and say you can't. Doesn't bother me, but to be honest. Never be sorry to me, Lauren. Never. Never. And listen to us next week here, by the way, Lauren, because we'll be doing, we've got something on Shakespeare and some plays. one of the nights. Okay, you'll be made up, but Anthony and I, what we're talking about. Sorry, Frank, I should have mentioned, please type in all caps. No, you're not at fault at all, please. Please, you're not at fault, one. It's just that, it was like Snapey ages ago, it was. And he was coming out with all these stupid long words. And I was looking, and letters were disappearing on me, so I had to guess what the words was, if you know what I mean. These long things. And I had to tell him, I said, Snapey, don't stop doing that. Because I didn't want anyone to know that he had cataracts. I love this girl. Don't you just love it? Excuse me. I'm just going to say, actually, I've just seen what you said there about Morgan, and he's a wrong un. He is a wrong un. He is. I won't put your thing up, your comments, but he is a wrong un, and you're right. But you can't get. It's like a fellow by the name of Douglas Murray. Steve Mulholland mentioned Mr. Osborne on Double Down. Brilliant he is. A proper, true journalist. And he's a wonderful man. I think that's one of the only... I actually send money through to them. I send money through to them. I think it's the only one. Because I don't want any money off anyone, me. And I always remember a lad, he's a cracking lad, Lee Brady, and he said, why don't you do a super sub? I said, no, I don't want anything off it. What for? He's a part of it. Everyone's a part of it. This that I'm talking about, all the pods. That's why I read everything out. Just saying. You've never been. That was great. That on the Joe Rogan show. Fantastic. Fantastic. It was that, and what was his name? I forget his name, unfortunately. And I do Dave Smith, and he just looked at it. But isn't he a horrible person, Douglas Murray? He's a phony. See, look, I mentioned about Piers Morgan, and give him his due. He's not a phony because he stands for what he, But that Douglas Murray is a phony. And I'll tell you why I think he's a phony. Because I seen him and he was reporting he had this fucking press thing on there. And he said, in the war zone and he fucking wasn't. He wasn't, in Israel. He said he was around Gaza or somewhere like that. And he wasn't. He was in Israel because you could tell by the sun the way it was beaten down. but he was well and truly safe. Well and truly safe. And I said, then, you phony. He was exposed. I said, you phony. And he's saying to Dave Smith, never been. There's my Italian girls, look. Toscana, Bella, Lauren. It's crazy. Love yourself. I wish I could marry you all. Yeah, I think I'll become an Arab. Get myself a big tent and do some Bedouins. And have a little harem with me. And camels. Be nice, wouldn't it? Camels. But you wouldn't be able to go to Sainsbury's in the middle of a desert, would you? Mind you, just fucking bombed. No one my luck. With me little harem. There is a roses in Frankie's harem. Oh, I tickled myself then. Guess where Douglas has never been? He's never been to India, to Iran. Oh, brilliant. And he has plenty of negative things to say about Iran. He has a lot of negative things to say about you, me, Lauren, Toscana, Freedom Journey, and everyone else who's on here. Johan, that's what he'll be. And he doesn't fucking know us. Oh. Did anyone see the photo during the rounds of Epstein, the artist, formerly known as Prince Andrew, and Mandelson sitting on the sun lounges while toweling robes, in white toweling robes, probably. Yeah, it was on the island. It was on the island. Look, you know, I go back to JFK, and he was the finest president. Eisenhower was okay. Then you had JFK. And his philosophy was no wars, no nothing, because he'd been through them himself. He was in the Navy. I forget what you call them, those motorboat things. I was looking for something on a show. I don't know where the fuck it's gone now. And anyway, that's by the by. And I found a book that my dad was in. The SBS. Heroic war stories of the SBS. And my dad was an officer in them. In the SBS. He had his own little group of people blowing up battleships and submarines. Nearly killed 4 times. I was looking for something and bang, there it was. I don't know where it is. As I said, put something fucking down in here, that's gone. Just disappears. Yeah, it was on an island. Just realised BBC is part of the Savile Epstein regime. You wouldn't cocoa. Everything that went on. He was a necrophiliac, you know. Savile. I didn't like all that punk stuff. And Johnny Lydon, never liked him. He was a fucking arsehole, him. And that Johnny Rotten, another, what was his name? Who kills his girlfriend. Another idiot. He murdered his girlfriend, that fella. Should have been in jail now without parole. Should have been languishing in jail. Nancy Spungen was her name. But anyway, he mentioned him years and years ago, Savile. He said about him. He said this fella, and he took no notice of him. Then you never seen him again after that. I'm talking about Johnny Rotten, Sex Pistols. They were fucking horrible then out there. You know, I came out from the 60s and music. Know what I mean? To that punk. And now I'm sorry, this rap as well. I've been watching loads of things on the telly, and there's all these like young girls, black girls, and they're ending up being fucking killed by these rappers. One fellow was in jail. This girl picks him up from jail. She's doing a social comment thing. Oh, mate, oh, great, you know. Picks him up, and he just gets in the car, and she's going, oh, it's great to see it, and he's just sitting there. Like, 2 hours later, she was dead. He shot her fucking to death. This is what it's like. So you can keep your rap for me. Or start a Mormon cult, Frank. They are... Get there. Johan, do you know who's a Mormon? Hey, tell you who was a Mormon and stayed here in Liverpool with his family for 6 months. He was only a kid though, and that was Butch Cassidy. Butch Cassidy lived here in Liverpool. You know, he came over with a load of Mormons from wherever he came from. And yes, and he can have a lot of wives. But could you imagine, mate, I'd have to go to Utah. I'd have to go there. But I don't think any of our Italian girls would go. And Bella says, oh, Franco, you made me laugh so much. Do you think you could put you with 3 Italian ladies all at once? No. That's your answer. I'd just rather be in the desert and, you know what I mean, with a few camels and a couple of goats. See, to be honest, Bella, you can milk the goat. Toscana can go on the camel and go and buy some bread somewhere. And little Lauren can do all the cleaning up. She'll be all right at that. And she can read to me. She can read Hamlet and Macbeth, Othello. Could you with 3 Italian ladies all at once? No. Good grief. David Icke warned us about them, and we laughed at him. We're not laughing now, are we? Says Johan. No. They called him an idiot. They called him an idiot. And Johan says pop culture is basically MK Ultra brainwashing. Of course it is. I don't know what the fuck's happened here. Oh, fuck off. I don't know what's happened here, you know. I really don't. Fuck off. Sorry here, people. Oh, fuck off. Jesus. Oh, something funny there, wrong. And I'm useless, you know. I really am useless. And that she says, bloody hell, Frank, a Muslim man can have 4 wives or 1. What's that? There's a lot of camels. I'm English and had 3. And it didn't cost me a camel. Sid Vicious, that's right, actually. Sid Vicious. Dope. That's who I was trying to think. Oh, come on. And Paulie says, SBS, that's the naval's equivalent of the SAS. Yeah, your father was the elite of the elite forces. You must be proud. I'm proud of my old man, and he was just in the merchant navy in wartime. My dad always said that they were one of the bravest, well, some of the bravest people to go on the high seas because they knew that there were submarines there and battleships. Merchant seamen. Believe it or not, think about this. This is madness. Honest, mad. Think about it. My dad's in the SBS. My uncle Frank Hall, he was 17 years of age. No, he wasn't. He was 18 in 1939. No, 40. And he was dragged into the British Army. Yeah. Because being Italian, you see. How old was he? Yeah, 18 he was. And he had siblings, or little Italian girls, and little Italian brothers. So anyway, they came for him and dragged him out. In the meantime, like the family had relatives in the Apennines fighting the fascists and the Germans. So how does that work out? And at the time, the Italians were the enemy, and they weren't, you know. Because you had the ordinary Italians who didn't want to fucking follow Il Duce, Mussolini. And that's why you had some of my family in the Apennines fighting them, partisans. And I asked if any of them got to, up by Milano there, where Mussolini was captured. They said no, they just stayed down south, and it was over. once Mussolini went, once them Germans were going. And I'll tell you who liberated Rome, and you wouldn't believe it. And he just drove up. He never had a uniform on, but it was like a uniform. It was khaki, the shirt, khaki shirt, khaki trousers, and a hat, peak hat, peak. And he's driving up in a jeep, gets into Rome, and he had sunglasses on. And this fella was one of the greatest of all TV reporters. And he said, "Don't be worried." He said, these are to the Italians who didn't want fascism there. He didn't want the fucking Germans. And he said, the Allies are down the road. They're on the way. And they picked him up and put him on the shoulders of Rome. And that was Alan Wicker. Alan Wicker. Great British journalist. Liberated Rome. So you see, and you know what? I love the Dolomites. I love that, and I love the scenery, and so a stream where you have these cars and that, they do these things, and they get from A to B, and it's great, the scenery. And what I do see as the passing, and I pause it, and I'm looking at hotels, and they fucking belong to the Germans. Loads of Germans. I wouldn't have fucking Germans there, mate. What they done to the Italians, fucking rounding them up and shooting them. They shot 300 Italians because the partisans, were out of the skirmish with this German patrol, and they killed a few Germans. And then they were all, I think 13 or something like that. But anyway, how many? No, 15. I forget now anyway. And they said, rounds up, 13 it was with the 3. Rounds up 300 Italians. And he rounded them up. Old men, young lads, every age of man. And I think the youngest was, there was other young kids there, like 14, 15 or whatever, but the youngest was 16. And they chased the others away, rounded these 300s up and brought them to a cave and fucking shot every one of them, executed them. But that wasn't an isolated case. They was doing it all over the place. They were doing it all over the place. They hated these partisans who was fighting them. They didn't want them in the country. Fuck off, get out of our country. We don't want you here. We don't want your Nazism here. And it's shocking what has happened. And I wouldn't have it if that'd be me in living up in wherever, say like Cortina, and I've seen these fucking Germans. But mind you, it's business, isn't it? It's business. As Tony Soprano would say, it's business. I'm getting on my own nerves, What the fuck's this here? Jesus. I don't know where it's gone. Oh yeah, I'm back. Should have pressed that ages ago. Thanks, Paul. Paulie. SBS, the most, naval's equivalent. Your father was of the elite. Yeah. I'd love to have got more information about the partisans, to be honest. My family there. Loved that. And Bella says, oh yeah, and who would fan you, my lord? See, Bella. Your Miss Yella could do that for me. She'd be all right. You know what I mean? But the, that big thing, doing that. You're all right there? Yeah, I'm all right. Can you move over that side and, just it'll blow on this. I'm a bit hot here. That'll be all right. Flatbread and a bit of ghee on it works well with curry. I'm not a spicy lover, I'm not a spicy lover. And Johan says to Bella, what would you think I'm going to be there for? What do you think I'm going to be there? No, you see, the big fan that a girl has to do that, like that. And Johan will just have the little thing, holding it, the little fan that goes around. As I'm getting that there, thing getting here like that. Just there, Johan. Just there, mate. And Paulie says, actually, you're making me hungry. I love Ruby now. Bit of naan bread, yes. I don't eat Indian, And Lauren says, what would you be there for? You'd be taking pictures. This is how people should be living. This is how the males should be living instead of causing war. Living a life of peace and being argued to. Because women love arguing. I know I've experienced that. I've experienced it many times. And Johan says, what actually makes me sad? I laugh at it, otherwise I would cry. But the amount of ex-Nazi pro-Israel candidates being elected in South America. Yeah. Well, that's the greater Israel, isn't it? With the help of America. And, you think like the cartels would stop all that, but the cartels are easily bought off, as you know. Something's got to be done. Something has to be done. My dog's half German Schnauzer and half a Jack Russell. Proper ratter, me German Bavarian friend. Loves my buds. I might need help. Me mum's half a Scouser. Proper ratter. So it goes after that. I hate them things. I hate them. When I do the history of literature and you do Oliver Twist, the descriptive writing of Dickens, when he's describing Fagin, he's describing a rat brilliantly. I was looking for it to do it last night, but I couldn't find it. I have to read the fucking book again. You can't just put your hand on it. No answer to that. No answer to that. Bella. Yes. Franco. Yes. Women do argue, but men like making up. I think that's why. I think that's why women argue, because they want to be made up too. Lauren to Bella, I don't argue. And you know what, Lauren? Neither do I. Don't like arguing, especially with a lady. They just argue, you see. They just argue. And as Bella said, the fellas like making it up, and that's what I have to do then, make it up. And then I asked, well, what was the argument for? Because I wasn't. Well, I was. I'd done that once, you know, and I was with someone. Turned her back, and I went. She caught me. She was looking at me through a mirror. And she said, "You're dumb." What? What? Colin's like, "Big up, Frankie. Where did you get the hat from? I'm after a good one like that, mate. I've got a few. I don't know where to put them." No, I've got a shower before, you know, and my hair's all over the place. So I had to wear this. I've only ever worn it once before. But I tell you what, it keeps me warm because I know that heat is in your body and it goes out your head. Know what I mean? So yeah, uh, someone said to me, "You're like a Peaky Blinder." I've never seen an episode of Peaky Blinders. Never seen an episode of it because it wasn't. I'm being honest with you, it was not, and I repeat, it was not historically correct. And your answer is somebody needs to make up with Lindsay Graham or that closeted fella is going to kill us all. You hear what he comes out with, don't you? You know, kill them. Kill. He actually says it. Just like Trump. Trump said it in a social thing, you know, his comment. And we'll kill them. We'll kill them all. Shocking. I've never known a president or a prime minister ever say anything like that. Kill them. I never liked Churchill. Never ever liked him. Because what he did was horrible. And yet he's the greatest, well, I never voted for him. The greatest Briton ever lived. And you're going back, you know, through the centuries. And he was voted the best. Even Thatcher was in the top 10. John Lennon was 7th, I think. But that Lindsey Graham, though, he's one horror. But they all are, as you know, every one of them. Have a look at that Miller. Forget his first name. Have a look at him. He's horrible. Another one. Another one. And their generals, they are absolutely ludicrous. The American generals, they haven't a clue. That's why they never ever won a war. They haven't a clue. Pathetic. Big up, Frankie. My dog is placid as he is, as it goes, Dr. Jekyll on a rat. But there you go, Archie. As I said, I hate rats. I'll be finishing in a moment or two. I think I'll have a rat on toast. What do you reckon? Do you know what? I went shopping ages ago, well, weeks ago, with Francie. And I looked at these prawns and I went, now I don't eat fish food. And I said, I don't mind a prawn now and again. Right. And I got them. And they were like flavoured, I forget what was on them. And like in the vinegar, So I brought them home. Okay. And I ate a lot. And I don't think I'll ever touch a prawn again. Made me sick. Because there was that many. There was that many. And I said to Francie the next time, I said, hey, I'll get you there. I said, they were lovely. I said, but. So I got them. And I said, did you like them? She said, yes, Dad. She said, did you eat them all? Because they're in a big thing like that, big chunk. Why am I telling you this? Absolutely ridiculous. I'll give up now. But anyway. Frank, what was the film from the 50s you watched this week? I watched a few, I watched one. And it was the worst film I've ever seen. I want everyone to, I forget the title. And you'll get it on YouTube. And I don't know whether they were taking the Michael or what. The only thing I could tell you about it is a girl, you see her in space. You see it in space. Oh, was it that one? Yeah, well, anyway, that one as well. That was a colour one, that. Don't know when that was fucking made, but. And she was in space, and they pick her up at the sea, when they drop in by parachute, the capsule. And the motorboat's going to get her, And she's unconscious, and there was a big hole in her helmet. And you see her lying there like that, in water as well, because the capsule is full of water. And they get her to hospital. And you see her lying there like that, just like that. In hospital, lying flat. And the nurse comes in, looking. The nurse goes out, and then her eyes flicker and opens. She had fucking makeup on. She had makeup on. Now, to me, I don't know whether it was. I don't know whether it was taking the mic, honestly. Or that girl, it was a load of vanity. She said, I'm not doing this scene. I'm not doing this scene without any makeup on. Because you did get a lot of vanity. I know. But anyway, she has all this, mate. She looked lovely. She's come from space, unconscious. And then there's this other one, black and white from the 50s. Fucking hell, I don't know when I was taking the piss. I really didn't. Because just like this, it's these spacemen, they come to destroy Earth, right? And they land. And you see a dog, and the spacecraft's open. It's not any greys or anything. They look like us, these fellas. And you see this fella, and he looks like that. And this little dog, sees it, the capsule, the spacecraft, and it's barking. This flying saucer, it's barking. And the fella goes like, one of them space guns, and he goes, and the poor little thing's in. It's not just dead. It's got nothing. It's a skeleton. It's just like a little skeleton, little dog skeleton. Anyway, but the acting, and this fella said, "Oh, you shouldn't have done that." He said, "We're going to destroy the Earth." He said, "What for?" "We want to experiment with it." This is the way they're talking. And they've got this, like, I don't know, looked like a scorpion or something, and this like a little cage, little scorpion. And they said, "We're going to make that bigger, and we're going to spread them all over there to destroy all these people." I don't know what the fucking plot was like, but that was to destroy it. But the actor, and one fella runs away. He says, "You can't do that." He has a conscience. He has a conscience. And at the end, well, I'm not giving it away. It's fucking stupid anyway. At the end, he said, this fella said, "You read that book. The book that's forbidden on our planet." And it was like a George Orwell book, if you like, given the future. Honest to God, it's the worst. I'll get it. I'll write it down, just in case you miss tomorrow. I'll have a look on the telly when I go in after my cup of tea. And I'll get it up and I'll see the title of it. I'll give you out tomorrow. The acting is pathetic. Yet this fella who runs away, he gets to this fucking house because he's got the dog tag. The little dog, he picks it up, the dog tag of the dog, if you know what I mean. And he makes his way, he goes to this garage, and he said, "Hello." And the fella looks, he said, "Can I help you?" He said, "Yes." "Can you tell me where this is, please?" He's showing the little dog tag. He said, "Oh, yeah." He said, "That's such a body. They only live down there, a couple of blocks away." Anyway, he gets to the house. And you see this young girl and grandpa living in the house. And it's got room to let. Coincidence. And he goes in and he goes, "Hello." And she said, "Have you come about the house?" And he doesn't say anything. Anyway, she brings him in. And Grandpa's there. And he goes, "Hello there, son." The dog. And he said, "Oh, yeah." And he said, "Yeah, that's our little pet." Anyway, he ends up staying in the house. Right. Going with the girl, loves him. And he loves her. As you do. But the acting was shocking. You knew when like the cues. "What are you doing?" "Oh, I'm going to do this." That's how it was acted. That's how it was acted. I'm fucking terrible, aren't I? Fucking hell, he's been up. Johan, no, please continue. No, I can't get that. Says Johan. I'd love to have been around in the 50s. Says Toscana. What for, Toscana? Fucking hell. I was around in the 60s. No, the 60s were great. That's when I had black hair. Wore no glasses. Yeah. The 50s, you mean? Yeah, the 50s. The 50s was all right. It was the most, for the century, right after the war, they reckon it was the greatest, like, decade. Albeit you had the Suez Canal, you had, the Suez Crisis and Korea. But, it was a peaceful decade. The 50s. '60s were great, though. Good night, all. Thanks, Frank. Brilliant evening, says Paulie. He's going for his crisp butties now. He's going for crisp butties. He's going to run over to the shop, like Sainsbury's, that's open till 11 o'clock or something like that. And getting loads of crisps, plain crisps, the crisp butties. Charlton Heston, what about him? Never liked him, by the way. And Bella says, what are not they? Franco and all you family, no dreaming, Franco, of me, Laura, Toscana, and Johan. I could be dreaming now of like as a bedroom with me. Or a Mormon. Living in Salt Lake City. With all your family and all you lot. And getting our photograph taken. And all you lot all around. And then we go on looking at the photo. Well, what's that fella doing? That Johan fella, what's he up to? Freedom. Freedom journey. Good night, one and all. Cheers, Frank, for hosting. Thank you. I should have joined us earlier when we were talking about Trump and the likes. Soylent Green. Yeah, it's a good film, that, actually. Good night, Billy. Colin Dykes. Frank, have you been watching Boys from the Black Stuff repeats on BBC lately? From no, I know the Boys from the Black Stuff. I knew a couple of actors actually as well. I have seen it a few times, and it's Bleasdale, brilliant. But I haven't seen it. I don't watch BBC. Bella. Good night, Laura. We've had 2 consecutive months of Friday the 13th this year. It is a sign of the times. Hey, yeah, that's right. That's right, haven't yeah, it's Friday the 13th. Actually, having a conscience and having your dog or cat will keep you alive. Our pets are highly intelligent. Well, there's a friend of mine called Dennis Paparak who comes on here now and again, comments and lives in Tampa. And he lives facing a lake. Oh, it's only a small lake. And he's got nice neighbours. Alligators. Toscana. Grazie, Franco. And chat. I've been dipping in and reading the comments. Thank you for the company. Buonanotte a tutti. Buonanotte. Cara mia. Cara mia Tosca. Look after your boy. Look after your boy. And Johan, Charlie Kirk was assassinated in Utah. By the way, maybe we should go to Pennsylvania or Maine. Pennsylvania. Johan, there's a great film, and I think it's brilliant, fun, and it's called Lake Placid, set in Maine. Lake Placid, with Bill Pullman, Oliver Platt, and the great Brendan Gleeson and Bridget Fonda. Have you seen Bridget Fonda today? I was looking at something there, then and now. And a girl named Tara Reid, not a bad actress either, and very glamorous. Fucking hell, you want to see the state of her now? Shocked. Toscana, are you okay, says Bella. Bella, I'm okay, but my son, bloody hell. So it's a bit difficult. Hope you're okay. Fucking hell, it's so sad, isn't it? But we've had a bit of a laugh, haven't we, tonight? Started off, okay. Oh, Bella. Prego, che tuo figlio abbia una notte tranquilla. Yeah, he will get peace. He will. His son will get some peace. Or let him have some peace, Restful night. Oh, Bella. Oh, Toscana. We all feel for you, Toscana, Bella. We do. We all feel for you. Every one of us. And Johan says, such a show business, they chew you up and spit you down. That's like Sinatra, isn't it? I'll pick myself up and get back in the race. That's life. Nothing like Sinatra. Pick myself up and get back in the race. That's what he was singing about show business. Johan. I'm speaking Italian. That message in Italian was for you, Toscana, says Bella. Of course it was. I read. I won't read any Italians out anyway. All right, I won't. I'll never read you, but if you think that I'm being nosy, so I'll never do that again. And boy, I keep my word. So anyone speaking Italian, I will not read it out. And Paul Lawrence spoke Italian there, commented. So on that note, I'm going. I'll be doing the watch along tomorrow. If anyone cares to join me, I'll look out for that as well, Johan, that particular film. You've got to watch it. You have to watch it. And on that note, I'm going to finish, ladies and gents. Love yous all. And I'm going for a cup of tea. Take this stupid hat off. Thanks, people. Hope to see some of you tomorrow. Look, they're all speaking Italian. As I said, I won't get myself involved in that anymore. So I'll let you finish. From the heart to you, says Bella to Lauren. Right, so I've just finished. I want to finish, you see. Okay, I'm finishing. Watch out for the Yetis, Johan. Watch out for the Yetis, my friend. Buonanotte, tutti. Buonanotte. And in English, I'll see some of you tomorrow morning. 10:30. Ciao.